Hello, this is Sean Norman. I am the program coordinator with the Mayor's Office of Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing Individuals. Happy Deaf History Month. Today we are here with Janice Rosen, our special guest from the DC Public Library. We'd like to learn more about Janice, her lived experiences, and her role here at the DC Public Library. Hi, Janice. Janice, can you explain your role and how long you've worked here at the DC Public Library?
DC Public Library. I've been working at DC Public Library for over 30 years, and my role started as a coordinator of the Deaf Literacy program we had with the Adult Learning Department, and I was working with Alice Hackemeyer, also the first deaf librarian for the deaf community here at the public library, and she was helping me also with getting a job here. And when she retired and I graduated library school, I moved here to what's now called Center for Accessibility. This was called Adaptive Services, but changed names throughout the years, and I've been here for over 30 years. I started in 1993, and my role has been giving information services. I'm a full reference librarian, so I give information on anything, not just deaf, but the general library information, planned programs. I have lists of resources, coordinate sign language classes. I have tutors, or I did have tutors, and with sign language teachers that I train and coordinate. I also have a book club in sign language and many different programs, things that can come up all the time. It's not just deaf role, but general library role. So I enjoyed it a lot.
So Alice Hagemeyer is the first deaf librarian, and that means that Janice, you are the second deaf librarian. What led you to become a librarian?
I love books and I love the deaf community and want to do more to serve and help the deaf community. And that's my love of books. As I wanted to work in a library since I was little. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Are there programs and initiatives that you've created here?
We have sign language classes for the public and for staff here. We have interpreters that we provide interpreter services. I have a book club, an ASL book club online with sign language classes, programs, different programs that for different month celebrations, and I work with the whole library system, not just for the deaf community, but providing access and information for people to learn about the deaf community. So,
That's so cool. So you mentioned your experiences working with Alice, the first deaf librarian. Are there memories that you'd like to share with us working with her?
oh yeah, so we work together on different programs, gave me many ideas, also advised me when I was in graduate school, and I was helping a little bit part-time while I was a student, and also went to conferences together, library conferences, introduced me to many people, many interesting people who were helpful and good influence on me. And also, she suggested ideas. She also suggested the Deaf History Month, and so it's really her baby. It's amazing. It was her baby to develop ideas, and I've helped her grow because I've been influenced by her. So it's been great to come. Very good memories.
You were part of that development and growth of Alice's dream and her work. Can you tell me what resources are available here for deaf, deafblind, disabled, late deafened, and hard of hearing community members here, specifically at the DC?
We have many books and many recording DVDs. things that are accessible, captions required to have everything captioned, and all the libraries have some material for deaf and hard of hearing, and also deaf blind can access the braille and everything. Also bigger phones. We have the type Ruby Duo machines, and also to the language line, ASL language line, which messing with, because so you can call for foreign language, you can call for voice interpreter for interpreting. But with ASL online, any deaf can go into any library and have the type or ASL, and those are some resources that would help them get information, as well as many books. There's no specific place or specific location or specific list of books to go and look, you know.
Wow, that's so... Janice, we're here at the Martin Luther King Library in Washington, D.C. Is this the only library that has the Center for Accessibility?
Yes, but it's just a statute for all the library systems, and just a person can go into any of the branch libraries and borrow books, and do research, use computers, whatever, any person with a disability, but we're a central location, but we work with all of the branches.
So you've been working here for quite some time. Can you share a little bit about what your experience is as a deaf employee here?
Well, it's been a wonderful experience because they're fully accessible. When I ask for interpreters, I get interpreters or captions. I have technology when I'm working on the reference desk. I interact with the hearing patrons, and I have all technology I need for the typing or interpreter or whatever. I found most of it very cooperative. I got to work with teaching the general public how to communicate with a deaf person, and for the most part, been pretty successful. It's been a good experience. I have a great team of people working here also, so that helps.
That's so great. I love. You've been a longtime resident of Washington, D.C. Would you mind sharing with us how long you've lived here and what your experience is living in D.C. as a resident?
Well, I was born in 1953, and my parents lived in Southeast on Wilmington Place, Southeast. And when I was 1.5 years old, we moved to Falls Church, Virginia, and I went to public schools until I went to college as a student. And when I graduated college, I went to not library school, Western Maryland College for 2 years, and then finished that degree. I moved here to D.C., and I've lived here since 1978 here in D.C. So I've really D.C. been my home, because I lived here in D.C. when I was a student at college, and then after school moved here, and so really D.C. is my home. I'm born here, and except for my growing up years, I've lived here since 78, so it's a long time. But I think the deaf person, things have changed, of course, the technology things. I remember when they didn't have easy access to interpreters or captions, but now, I mean, everyone you see seems so open, agreeable to communicate with deaf people, and it's like many people are surprised me, they know a little bit of sign language, or, you know, and I find that interesting now too with the popularity of sign language classes. And so this is really great.
Yes, it really is fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
really. So long, my goodness. So I learned something that Deaf History Month originated here at this library. Janice, can you share how it started?
Oh, sure. Deaf History Month was started in 1997 with me and Alice want to have a whole month of celebrating, just like a Women's History Month Black History Month, but we're definitely a full month. So we started on March 13th to April 15th because of two very important historical events. March 13th, the end of the Deaf Present Now movement, and April 15th, began the opening of the first school for the deaf, public school for the deaf in the United States. So to celebrate that, we had some programs on deaf history, and we invited Dr. Yurka Anderson, a professor of sociology, to come and give a talk on deaf history, deaf studies, new kid on the block. At that time, no one ever heard of a deaf history month. We had clericals that week in December, 1 week, which was started in 1974, but had yet had a month. So this was very popular, but every year we had some kind of celebration to celebrate looking at people for famous or successful deaf people in history. So that's how it all started. Now the date for Deaf History Month has changed. Now it's the full month of April. Just about 2 years ago it changed. So anyway, that's how it all started. But it's interesting having wonderful people come and give presentations, a whole variety of topics. We've had dancers, actors, lectures, book discussions, so a variety of things. So I can't name them off the top of my head right now.
Wow, a round of applause to you
Right,
and
oh, yeah.
Alice. I mean, establishing Deaf History Month and continuing that energy
Yeah.
till today.
Still work together too.
Yeah. What does Deaf History Month mean to you?
Well, it's a wonderful sort, I guess, it's a pride as a deaf person, like with the other special heritage months. We're looking at successful deaf people, spotlighting them, people from deaf history with a whole variety of different fields. And it's just wonderful to have a full month to celebrate with films, lectures, different presentations and discussions, book talks and all that, which I think is a wonderful idea. So I would look forward to that every year to have the Deaf History Month.
Janice, you mentioned that you spotlight Deaf History Month and those people who've done so much work for accessibility.
Yeah,
and I hope you know that you are one of those people.
right.
You are one of those people. You established the first Deaf History Month, and you are well known too. And I'd like to relate that to your life here in DC for quite some time as a deaf librarian and the work that you started. What advice would you like to share for deaf, deafblind, deaf disabled, hard of hearing, and late deafened members here in the community?
My advice for a deaf community is to get education, study, read books, and learn something new every day. And don't let anything stop you. Don't let anyone say no. You can't do it.
That's really cool, Janice. I want to say thank you. I'm so grateful for you sharing space with us, for the opportunity to interview you, and you are you're a special part of DC. And I want to share with everybody who's watching, the deaf community members, come to the Martin Luther King Library. The library in DC has so many resources for you, for us, accessible resources. You will not feel as though you are restricted because of the work that Janice and Alice have done. The experiences that you can share include you meeting Janice in person. And thank you. Such a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.